Okay, so we're on Ayin Beis Amud Hey 75b in Avodah Zarah. So we're really in the home stretch here. So we're talking about different utensils used in winemaking. Rav Yehuda said, Hani Ravake Deramoy sediment sacks of Arameans. It's on the last page. The bottom of the Mazia, the Medichan, they're made of human hair, you wash them. The Amrim and Agvan, they're made of wool, you dry them. The Kitanim, the Yashnan, if they're made of linen, you age them for 12 months. You could kitri the sharalahu if they have knots, you have to untie the knots. Hani the kule, v'chalasa, deramoy, if they're basket-like sieves and beehive-shaped sieves that belong to Arameans. The chayt, the bechavli b'tzura, if there's some with palm fiber ropes. Medichan, you wash them. Now we're on our daf. The tzav nagvan, if they're made of a type of a reed from the sedge family, then you dry them. The kitana, the yashnan, if they're made of linen, you age them for 12 months. V'isbahu kitrei sharilahu, if they have knots in them, you have to untie the knots. Hitmar. So you have the following statement. This we didn't say yet. So here we are, Itmar, the second line, right in the middle. If an Amar, it's a person who doesn't keep the laws of Tumah and Tahara so carefully, and so we assume them to be Tameh. Amharitz means a man of the land. Really, Amharitz means the people of the land, but we use it to mean an ignorant person. Shitiyad Lagas, he puts his hand in the wine press. Vanagav Ashkolas, he touches the clusters of grapes. Rebbe Bechia. There's an argument between Rebbe and Rebbe Bechia. Chadam Ereshkol Chos voice of Tamein. One opinion says that the grapes and everything around it are Levitically impure. They're Tameh. Chalagas Kula Tahara, but the whole wine press or Tahara are pure. Chadamar, and the other opinion says that everything is tamei, including the wine press. So we have a Mishnah that we're going to cite to contradict this. If he says that only the cluster and everything right around it is tamei, is impure, and everything around it is pure, how is this different from this we find in the following Mishnah? Sheretz Shenimsa B'Rechayim Eina Metamel M'Koy Magoy V'Mahayim Ashken Mahalach HaKol Tami. The Mishnah says that if you find some kind of a reptile or something, or a mouse in a mill, for an olive mill, it only transmits impurity, Levitical impurity, Tumah, to the area of its contact. But if the liquid is flowing, then everything in it is tamei, is impure, polluted, defiled. So the Gemara says that over there in this Mishnah, there's nothing separating them. Here, the grapes are in the way. So that's the difference. So Orale Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Rabbi Yirmiyah, they gave a ruling to Rabbi Yirmiyah, V'amalei Levrei the Rabbi Yirmiyah, and someone says Rabbi Yirmiyah's son. The law is that the grapes and everything around the grapes, the cluster of grapes, are impure, are defiled, and the rest of it is pure. So now I believe this is our last Mishnah. Do we have another Mishnah after this? I don't think so. So, yeah, this is the final Mishnah in Tractate of Avodah Zarah. Which is interesting. Usually in Mishnayos we find a Mishnah will end with a Gada. So the last Mishnah in many, especially a tractate like this, that's a rather interesting tractate, would end off with some kind of a Gadic statement, and here we don't have that. Here we have a plain halacha. It's the halachas of Hagolas Kalim, which is in Yana de Yomer, because a lot of it's a current subject because we're the days before Passover, so this is something a lot of people are busy with. Hagolas Kalim, how to remove impurities, how to essentially sterilize dishes and pots and pans and things, utensils, if they absorb something not kosher. And it's, for the most part, biblically speaking, is based in the book of Numbers, chapter 31, verses 21 through 23. And we're going to see if something was used for non-kosher cooking, how to purge it of the non-kosher flavors. So, halokeach klitashmish mina akum. Mishnah says that if you buy utensils from a pagan, or really any non-Jew, eshadar kilhat b'liatbil, lahagel yagel, laban bor, yalaban bor. So, if it's something that has to be put in the mikveh, it has to be put in the mikveh. If it's something that has to be have a hagola, have the purging through boiling water, so then that's the way it sterilizes in burning water, boiling water. And if it's something that you have to burn out in fire, you burn it out in fire. Now we're going to discuss this question of Hagolas Kalim, which is a halacha that's in certain ways separate. It's the Tevilas Kalim, putting the dishes in the mikveh, is a separate issue from the kashrus of the food. Meaning, even when you buy a totally brand new kli, you have to put in the mikveh. You don't have to kasher it, but you still have to put in the mikveh. And what is this Indian of Tevilas Kalim, which is not specifically mentioned in the Torah? So this halacha is also discussed here as well. Hashapud var askla malabin boor. So a spit and a grill, they have to be kashered in the fire, purging in the flame. A sack and shafa v'tahara. But a knife you could just scrape off, and then it's kosher. Again, this is separate from the issue of Tevilas Kalim. There's Hechsher Kalim and Tevilas Kalim are two different things. Tevilas Kalim putting in a mikveh is one issue, even if it's totally clean, and the other one is removing impurities, actual pieces of or flavors and absorption of non-kosher materials, which after that also, if we're initially buying it from someone who's not keeping kosher, who's not Jewish, so then it needs Tevilas Kalim. If not, if it's made by a Jew and it's sold by the Jew, so then it only needs Hagolah. It only needs Tevilah. Then it needs nothing. Then it's good. So Tana, I'm sorry. So you have a brayso of V'chulin tzrichin Tevilah bar boim soah. Says all new dishes need to go in a mikveh of 40 saw of water. That's the measure of a mikveh. Different opinions of how big it is. It's somewhere between 100 gallons to 255 gallons. But it's a mikveh that's with natural water and everything. Manaham Nemili. What's the biblical source for Tfilas Kalim? Even though it's not explicitly said in the Bible. Amar Rava said Damakra. So this verse that we cited in Numbers 31 verse 23. Anything that comes into fire, you should put through the fire and it becomes pure. So by adding this word and it becomes pure, it means that there's another kind of purity that has to be added, which is putting in the mikveh. Tani Bar Kapra, so Bar Kapra taught, the same verse says, with the waters of purification. So usually the term Meinida refers to the paraduma, the red heifer. So that's what you would think that this means. But when it says but or only, which is cholak, that's a term, is achlosh and miyut, it's a term of limitation. To say no, it doesn't require the whole thing of the sprinkling the ashes of the red heifer in Cain. So what is this term Meinida? The waters of Nida, the waters of purification is how it's usually translated. Mayim shenida tivelis mehen heviyomer arbaim sa'a. So Meinida, we could say it means in the same water that a Nida, a woman after her period, after she menstruates, has to immerse in, which is a mikveh of 40 saw. Itztrich l'michta v'tahir. So why does it have to write v'itztrich l'michta v'meinida? The Torah had to have both terms. Because if it just said to be pure in the mikveh, it didn't have to be 40 sak. That's why it has to say the waters of purification. It has to be this measure of 40 measures, 40 sak. Because of Rachmana b'meinida. But if only mentioned meinida, the waters of purification, avamina harav shemesh kanida, you might think that it's not pure until the sun sets, because of Rachmana v'tahir. So that's why the merciful God writes in Scripture v'tahir, it becomes pure. It means la'alter, it means right away. So Rav Nachman Amar Ravuya. Rav Nachman said the name of Rabbi Ravuya. Fil kelim chadashim kamashma. The yeshanim v'libnon chadashim damu. So the thing is, even if you bought a brand new dish from a non-Jew, you go to the store, you go to Walmart, and you buy dishes. You buy pots and pans. It seems that you also have to put in the mikveh, and that's the halacha. Because if you take something old and you put it in the fire, it's like it's brand new. But it still needs to go in the mikveh after that. Maskeflor of Sheshis, or if Sheshis says, Ihachi afilu zuza de sarbala nami. Sheshis said if that's the case, even cloak shears is how they're translated here, which is something that's not used. It's something used to cut clothing. You should also put that in the mikveh. So malay klei sudam or in parsha. Nachman said to Rav Sheshes, no, this paragraph in the Torah is only discussing something that's used in a meal, used for eating. Amar Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman said, Amar Rabba Barvuah. The name of Rabba Barvuah. Lo yishano b'lekuchen ch'maisha shahoya. Avol she'ulan lo. So he said it's only in the case where you're actually buying the utensils. Like the story where they use the spoils of war with the Midianites in the book of Numbers, but if you borrow from a non-Jew and it's otherwise kosher, then it's fine. And for that reason, what many restaurants will do, instead of schlepping all the dishes to be toiveled, restaurants and hotels and things, if they can toivel them, they could toivel them. But if not, they can rely on that selling it or having the non-Jew own it, even if it's a partial ownership, and the Jew is merely borrowing these dishes, then it doesn't need tefillah. It still needs hagala or whatever to remove the non-kosher flavors. Yitzchak bar Yosef zavan mana demarda me'akum. Yitzchak bar Yosef purchased a utensil made of marda, which is a mix of cattle dung and earthenware. Savar lat bila. So he thought he had to immerse this in the mikveh. Amalei Humar Rabban Rabbi Yaakov Shmei Li Meparsha Li Minei Rabbi Yochanan Klematachis Amurin Beparsha. So he's about to go to the mikveh. So one of the rabbis told him the name of Rabbi Yaakov, and Rabbi Yochanan explained it. The parsha there is only talking about metal utensils, but not earthenware. Or not dung. The whole question about plastic. The yakas they immerse plastic. I hear that Rav Gustman Zechar Nevrach also, that was his minhag. But al pi halacha, it's not necessary. But if you have a minhag like that, it's good to do. It doesn't hurt. They say that they saw the Munkacher Rebbe eating fish with his hand, and he said, "What? Why eating with your hands? Take a fork." And he said, "Well, when was that fork in the mikveh?" And they said, 20 years ago when we bought it." He said, "Well, this hand was in the mikveh today." So Amar Rav Ashi says, "Hachi hani kli zchuches, hoil v'china shtaber yishlan tekana kli matachis damo." So he says, as far as glassware, since it could be broken and fixed, they're considered like metal. Kunya, what about earthenware that's metal plated? Pligi bar of Achav Ravina. Chad Amar K'chilase v'Chad Amar K'Seifai. So one opinion said it's like it was at the beginning, meaning it's earthenware, and the one said it's like it's the end and it's metal. If it's earthenware, it doesn't need to be toiveled, it doesn't need to go in the mikveh, and the metal does. And the law is that it's considered metal and has to be put in the mikveh. Boilahu, so they ask, Mashkantamai, what about if you had something received as a collateral vessel? Now we're on like the wide lines over here. So Mar bar Avashi said, Abba mashkan le alkum kasa de kaspa. So the pagan pawned a silver cup goblet to my father, to Ravashi. Vat leiv ishtebe. My father put in the mikveh and drank from that. V'le'adana. I don't know why he put in the mikveh. Imishum d'kasava meshkanta kasvina damei. Damya, does he hold that collaterals like a salim ishum dechazi la'akum l'daita l'shekui? Or he realized that the pagan intended to let Ravashi keep it when he made the pawn. It's a ton of banan. Rabbis taught in the Brisa, just by the two dots here. Halokeach klei tashmish min ha'akum dvarim shaloi nishtamish ben matbilan. So if they're clean, they're kosher, you still have to put them in mikveh, ve'hein taharon, and then they're pure. Dvarim shnistamish ben al yedei tzainin, kagoin koises v'kisonios v'slochios. If they were used with it's a little toy here. If they were used with cold food like cups, drink dippers, and flasks, medichin mitbin lintern. You just wash them off and you put them in mikveh and they're kosher. If they were used with hot, kagoin a yaris or kumusan v'chamechamen megilan matvilan ve'intarin. Like pots, kettles, and urns. You purge them in hot water and you immerse them in mikveh and they're pure. Dvarim shnistamish ben alidei or kagoin shpuden v'ha'as kloyes malavim matbilan ve'intarin. If they were used with fire, like spits and grills, you purge them through fire and then you immerse them in mikveh and then they're kosher. So all of them have to go in the mikveh when they're done koshering them. So what if what's the deal though? If you use these things and you didn't put in mikveh, you didn't make hagala, you didn't make livin. What do we do? What if you made kosher food on these essentially non-kosher dishes and so forth? There's one brisa that teaches that the food itself is not kosher, and there's another version of the brisa that teaches that the food is kosher, like kasha, and it's not really a contradiction. Hakamanda Amar Noisin Tam Lefgam Aser. Hakamanda Amar Noisin Tam Lefgam Mutter. There's two different opinions. If a flavor is lost, or is damaged, or so forth, one opinion says it's kosher, one says it's not. Manda Amar Noisin Tam Lefgam Mutter. Giulei Akum Da Aser Achmana. So if we say that the flavor that's detrimental is kosher, why do the sages prohibit the utensils of an idol worshipper with the whatever was absorbed into that? Why did God prohibit that? Where is there any prohibition then? Why is there a din of Hagolas Kalim if Noisin Tam Lefgam is mutter, if a damaged flavor is kosher? So Rav Chia brother of Huna, Rav Chia the son of Rav Huna said, "Le'as v'Torah l'kadeira." The Torah only says it's not kosher concerning a pot. All right. So now let's go to the next daf. Quickly, just see Bas Yoma. If it was used that day, the Lav Noisin Tam Lefgamhu, because then it's not no saying Tam Lefgam. The flavor is not damaged at all. Kanvei Lechlishrei. So then, if 24 hours passed, it should be kosher already. So Gzera Kadeir Sheina Bas Yoma Mishum Kadeir Bas Yoma. The answer is that the rabbis made an extra law to prohibit something, to say that something that's more than 24 hours has passed, really, according to the Torah, that's kosher. But the rabbis made an extra law in order to prevent people from using even on the same day, and so they applied the same law. What our practice is among Ashkenazim, is that we, even before we can do a Hagala, we say, before we can purge the items, we say it has to be already Noisen Tam Lefgam. So we wait Meis Leis, so it shouldn't be Ben Yomo. As Fardim are Mekel, particularly when it's not bar not the Hetera. All right, thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the best. Take care.